I turned myself in on my own accord to try to get this taken care of. So I'm just hoping to see if I can get a bond today, so I can be home for Christmas. I paid the bondsman $500 to get me to court. When I called the bondsman tells me he's out of town. I don't know.
I don't understand why you're telling me that it's up to your bondsman to get you to court. That
I'm
looks
going to be
like
sitting
where it
here
is.
till January 3rd.
What?
I'm going to be sitting here till January 3rd after I've been sitting in jail 10 days.
This judge is about to make a big decision. Should this man be allowed to go home for Christmas, or will he spend the holiday behind bars? He's currently in custody for a theft that happened 4 years ago. Although he turned himself in just 10 days ago, he had previously missed a court date, which led the judge to deny him bail. There's a lot of tension in the courtroom right now. Everyone understands how serious this moment is. Honestly, it's a tough call. I'm not sure whether the judge made the right choice or not. What do you think? Should he be given a second chance to go home for the holidays, or should he remain in jail? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy this kind of courtroom content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's jump into it.
How you doing today?
Fine. Are you Mr. Kelly?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm Judge Sanders. We're just having a docket call today. That's the purpose of this. And what it is, Mr. Kelly, is that's a 2020 case that you had. And apparently, the state is requesting that your probation on that case be revoked and that you.
Yes, sir. So, I bonded out on that case, correct? And I paid the bondsman $500 to get me to court. When I called the bondsman tells me he's out of town. So I called Judge Sanderfield's office 3 times. Then I called the court clerk 3 times, and I called the district attorney's office and try to get a Zoom link. They told me they couldn't give me a Zoom link on the case. So I called back my bondsman. He says, well, what you need to do is start walking. So I called my attorney, Watts, at the time, and he said there was nothing he could do for me. So 10 days ago, I just got a new job working at Kohl's, making $27 an hour. 10 days ago, on Friday the 13th, I go turn myself in to Sedgwick County to get this taken care of. And then, I guess they finally just get a hold of you guys a couple of days ago on the 20th and said that I was ready to be picked up. But I turned myself in. I did everything I was supposed to do to try to get to court on back in July. I did. I mean, I called everybody I could, tried the judge, everybody, so my bond wouldn't get revoked. And then, I turned myself in on my own accord to try to get this taken care of. So I'm just hoping to see if I can get a bond today, so I can be home for Christmas. I did do my part of turning myself in and did everything I could back in July to get here. And I just want to get this taken care of. It's a 4-year-old case, sir. And like I said, I just got a $27 an hour paying job, and I just would like to get it taken care of,
It looks like back in June, your judge revoked your bond. You failed to appear.
Yes.
The court issued a bench warrant and a no bond hold.
Yes, sir. I understand that because I didn't show up in court, but it wasn't my fault. I paid the bondsman $500 to get me here, and he couldn't get me here. It was his duty to get me here when I paid him $500. I bonded out and gave him $500 to make sure I got here. And then when he told me he couldn't get me here, I called everybody I could, the judges' chambers. I called the district attorney. I called everybody I could, and it was all documented. And I even called Mr. Watts, my lawyer at the time, and no one could help me out. But now that I got this new paying job, I turned myself in on my own accord. I figured I should at least be able to get a bond so I can I'm trying to do what's right here, by turning myself in and getting this taken care of. And
Full Judge Sanders. Good morning, Mr. Kelly. How are you today? It's Mr. Kelly. I'm doing fine, sir. Judge Sanders. All right. I'm Judge Sanders. Today's session is just a docket call. We're here to discuss your 2020 case. The state is asking to revoke your probation, Mr. Kelly. Yes, sir. I did post bond for that case. I paid the bondsman $500 to make sure I'd get to court. But when I called him, he told me he was out of town, so I tried to do the right thing. I called Judge Sanderfield's office 3 times, the court clerk 3 times, and the district attorney's office. I asked for a Zoom link so I could appear remotely, but they said they couldn't provide one. I went back to the bondsman, and he just told me I should start walking. I also reached out to my attorney at the time, Mr. Watts, but he said there wasn't much he could do. 10 days ago, I started a new job at Kohl's, making $27 an hour. On Friday the 13th, I turned myself in at Sedgwick County so I could resolve this. I was told later that on the 20th, the court finally received word that I had turned myself in and was ready to be picked up. I did everything I could back in July to show up to court. I contacted everyone I could, judges, the clerk, the DAS office, to avoid having my bond revoked. Still, I turned myself in voluntarily to make this right. I'm here today hoping I can get a bond so I can go home for the holidays. This case is 4 years old, and I've done my best to handle it properly. I have a solid job now, and I just want to move forward. Judge Sanders. Well, it shows here that in June, your bond was revoked because you didn't appear in court. A bench warrant was issued, and it included a no bond hold, Mr. Kelly. Yes, sir. I understand that. But I didn't miss court on purpose. Paid the bondsman to get me there, and he failed to do so. That was his responsibility. Once I gave him the money, I did everything I could to fix the situation. I contacted your office, the DA, the court clerk, and my attorney. Everything I did is documented now, with my new job and the fact that I turned myself in willingly. I'm just asking for a chance to be released on bond so I can keep working and take care of this the right way. School.
I don't understand why you're telling me that it's up to your bondsman to get you to court.
Well, I paid him $500 to make sure I got here.
How much was your bond?
5,000.
Well, that's just the bondsman's fees for putting the money up for you. That's not the.
I figured that's well,
That's not
ain't
to
it their
pick you
job
up
to
and
make sure
haul
I
you to
get here?
court.
Ain't it their job to make sure I get to court though?
No, not unless you got some special arrangement with him, and that's nothing that the court has to do. And that's just his fee to make a bond for you so that you don't have to put up any money. Well, all right, in any event, Judge Satterfield has set that as a no bond hold. She wants to see you before she'd even consider bond, and I'm not gonna do a sideways appeal on this and overrule her. So
I can't get no bond.
nope, no bond. Now, what they have done is give you a special setting, expedited hearing on your case. And this is for bond revocation. And it's at 1:30 on January the 3rd. And that's to be in person.
And Your Honor,
And no bond until that time. Yes, Mr. Regier.
based off of the state's information, that is a 1 o'clock setting, but I believe it is an in-person setting on January 3rd.
I thought I said that. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, it's in person, right?
That is the state's understanding, Your Honor.
Yes, I understand that too. So, that
So I'm
looks
gonna
like
be sitting
where it
here
is.
till January 3rd.
What?
I'm gonna be sitting here till January 3rd after I've been sitting in jail 10 days.
Yes. Well, then I suggest that you do. I take it that you don't have money for a lawyer, and Mr. Watts had previously represented you. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what you might do, because I'm at this point, I'm going to go ahead and reappoint him for you, is you might get a hold of him and see.
Ain't no way of getting a hold of him. I've been trying to get a hold of him for a week.
You have his number?
Yeah, I got his number. My wife got his number. My mom got his number. We all been trying to get a hold of him for a week. I've been sitting in Sedgwick County Jail for a week.
Well, I'd suggest that maybe you try to give him a call this afternoon. If any event,
How's that gonna help me any?
well, he could maybe file an emergency motion with Judge Satterfield, because I'm not going to overrule another judge here on that.
All right, so I guess we done here then.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. You're excused.
Your Honor, could you repeat the time for the January 3rd date,
Yes.
please?
It's January the 3rd at 1 p.m. and she wants that in person. So I take it that means he needs to be at the courthouse in court.
At first, I really did feel a little sympathy for this guy. But now, it's just not making sense. He seriously thinks that paying his bondsman $500 means the bondsman was supposed to personally get him to court. That's just not how it works. The bondsman's job is to post bail, not to act like a chauffeur or babysitter. I'm not sure if someone gave him bad advice or if he's just trying to dodge responsibility. Either way, it's clear he's not taking ownership of his actions, pointing fingers at the bondsman and talking. About missing Christmas isn't going to fix this. If anything, it could make things worse. It's up to the judge to sort this out now. It's definitely a tough situation. Part of you wants to feel bad for him, but it's hard to ignore the fact that he seems to be playing clueless. What do you guys think? Let's jump back into the hearing. School, do you think the judge made the right decision here? Personally, I do. Sure, spending the holidays in jail isn't ideal, but when you break the law, there are consequences. This guy made his choices, and now he's dealing with the outcome. I think the judge handled it fairly now. The part that really stood out was how emotional he got. He kept insisting it was the bondsman's responsibility to get him to court. After he missed his hearing, that's just not how the system works. Once you post bail, it's your job to show up, no one else's. And about that job claim, he said he started working at Kohl's for $27 an hour. That raised a few eyebrows. I could be wrong, but that doesn't sound like a typical starting wage. If that wasn't true, it just weakens his credibility even more. Still, I think the judge did what needed to be done. He stood firm, followed the law, and didn't let emotions cloud the facts. If you miss court, you're in violation of bond, plain and simple. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more court coverage. And let me know in the comments, did the judge make the right call, or should he have gone a different route? Thanks for watching and take care.